Now, last year, around the same time with the Bud Light controversy, Target went into a controversy of its own. Apparently, it started when some concerned parents saw a transgender promoting theme in the kids' aisle section, so for toddlers. And this upset the parents. It ended up with a boycott, and eventually Target decided to hide its LGBT themed merchandise from several stores. Now, I gotta say something controversial myself right now, probably will upset some of you, but in a perfect world, boycotts wouldn't happen over this level of trivial shit. However, we do not live in a perfect world. We live in the world where boycotts do happen over trivial shit, and I have seen much of the trivial shit that I like being taken away from me, censored from me. And as such, I guess the correct way of thinking is that, yeah, everything is political, and if everything is political, anything that's not on my political aisle needs to be censored, and anything that's on my political aisle needs to be promoted. I don't make the rules. I don't like living like this. I don't make the patch notes, I just play the meta. Hopefully, we are going to live in a society like in the 90s, where I do not believe that it's the responsibility of corporations to keep people safe. And as long as something is legal and is not made illegal, it should actually exist for people to purchase. If it's a market for it, if people desire to have it, then buy it. If not enough people want to buy it, it will go bankrupt. If it's that offensive, if it's breaking obscenity laws, then pass legislation to ban it. I do not think that corporations should decide what grown adults are and aren't allowed to buy. But again, we don't live in that world. We are not existing in this fantasy land, in this utopia. No, we exist in the land where comic books get banned on a regular basis. Like if I'm not mistaken, Target caved in to a boycott where people wanted GTA to be taken off the shelves, where people wanted a cover version of Spider-Woman to be taken off the shelves. Trivial shit like this has caused boycotts in the past, and now I am supposed to pretend like this is abnormal. Why? Because the left is affected? Right? So it's normal when right-wingers get their shit taken away. Like that is the society I need to live in, because those are my principles. But when they get in power, my rights get taken away because those are their principles. Now, I gotta say, I don't even think it's necessarily about the t-shirts or the slogans. I do think it's also about stuff like this, where Target gave $2.1 million to an activist group that urges schools to hide kids' gender transitions from their parents. Which is great. I mean, this is the way forward. This is a much better society than the one we had yesterday. But I don't know if they talked with the parents about this. Like, had they consulted the parents if they're willing? Well, if you haven't consulted the parents, then parents may be a little bit upset. And at the end of the day, you realize that parents are the ones with the money. And they're the ones purchasing. Now, when it comes to boycotts, there is one reason why boycott is very difficult to work for entertainment products. Like for video games, for movies. But it does work for stuff like beer or supermarkets. And the reason for that is that most people, when you look at entertainment, they don't have that many movies available. Like nowadays, maybe you get one blockbuster every month or so. So if you're a person that enjoys going to movies, you don't have that much choice into what you're going to see. And people who like going to movies, like that's their hobby, they will keep going to movies. And it's the same thing with people who like to play video games. Like if you have a circle of friends, well, you need to get the new Call of Duty if you want to still hang out with your friends. But when it comes to beer or supermarket, things are differently. Like sure, there are people that are addicted to beer, but they don't have to drink that particular brand. So the moment someone replaces the brand of beer, they destroy the habit. And the habit is like, well, I'm going to buy Bud Light, right? Like that is the habit. Every single time they have beer available, they go and they buy Bud Light because that's their beer. But the moment they're like, okay, well, I'm taking a principled decision, I'm going to buy a different beer, they create a new habit. And usually those people do not come back to the previous beer, especially if it's for ideological reasons. The same thing with Target. Like if you have people that shop at the same, because most people shop at the same supermarket, right? Like at least that's what I do with my wife. We have our supermarket, which is relatively close. We like the products there. We like the prices. So we only go to that one. But if that one would piss us off, with regardless what that is, then we would just change and go to another one. And once we pick another one, it's very unlikely that we will go to the previous one because, again, we have created a habit. So this is why it's actually affecting Target. And now they're deciding to restrict the sale of LGBTQ themed merch. Now, I want to say, I do talk with a lot of LGBT people. Some of them even donate to this channel and support this channel. So I do know what they're thinking, and what they're thinking is that they are sick and tired of this corporate pandering, because they notice that it's not that the companies genuinely care about them. And in fact, most of the time when companies do stuff like this, it turns the public against them. So like, they don't like what the activists are doing. They don't have this hive mind where everyone is okay with it. And when you have like people from the LGBT community speaking out and saying, well, I disagree with what the activists are doing, they're getting ostracized, they're getting called bigots, they're getting suppressed from social media. So they are not upset that Target is doing this, basically, because they view it as pandering anyway, right? Like, they notice that you now have the same product, but they put a rainbow flag on it and the price goes up by $10. It's such an obvious marketing scheme. It's not that the company legitimately cares about these issues, right? It's not something that comes from the heart, something that you can say, yeah, I mean, they genuinely care. No, it's pandering. So now apparently they are going to restrict the sale of LGBTQ themed merch from Pride Month after Backlash. I don't know exactly what they're restricting, but apparently a Target told CNN that despite dialing down its LGBTQ merchandise, the company is committed to supporting the Pride Month. And most importantly, they want to create a welcoming and supporting buzzword, more than 400,000 people. In other words, look, this is cutting into our profits, so we got to restrict it, but please don't boycott us. Because I remember like what happened with Bud Light was actually hilarious, because they decide to make the controversial commercial and they get boycotted by the right. So they cave into the right, and now they're getting boycotted both by the right and the left. Which is why companies, unironically, should just shut the fuck up. Like, I don't care about your political things, and don't pretend that this isn't political, because everything is political. Okay? Like, I've been told that everything is political. So the only politics that a company should have is, how can you make your product cheaper, more convenient, and better than it was yesterday? Like these are the only three major politics that every company around the world should focus on exclusively. I don't care about the kittens. I don't care about foreign conflicts. It's not your place, okay? Like, you're the company selling burgers. So, say it with me again. I want the burgers to be cheaper. I want it to be more convenient purchasing the burger. And I want the burger to be better than it was yesterday. That's it. Like that. Those are the politics that you need to campaign for, right? Everything else is not your concern. Why is that so difficult? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.